What if you woke up on an island where no human civilization exists, where the jungle watches you, where the ocean traps you, and where survival depends not just on strength, but on instinct? This is not just a story of being lost. This is a story of transformation. A woman against nature, against fear, against the unknown. And the deeper she goes, the more she realizes this island is not just a place, it's a test. Stay till the end, because her final choice will change everything. In an unknown ancient time, in the middle of a vast ocean, stood a massive island where no human civilization existed. There was only nature, and within that nature, hidden terrifying life. Waves constantly crashed against the island's shores, and their sound felt like an endless warning that this place was not meant for the weak. On a violent stormy night, a small boat had shattered in the ocean, and the only survivor from that boat was a woman who drifted unconscious onto the shore of that unknown island. Her body soaked, her breathing slow, and around her there was nothing but the sound of waves and darkness. When the light of dawn slowly rose into the sky, she opened her eyes, and the first thing she felt was the cold touch of sand while the sound of waves filled her ears. She slowly sat up, her head spinning, her vision blurred. But after a moment, she realized she was alive. She looked around and saw the vast ocean in front of her, and behind her a dense jungle from which came strange sounds, bird calls, and the roars of unknown creatures. Her heart began to pound because she understood she was alone and this place was completely unknown. She slowly stood up, her body weak, but her will to survive forced her forward. She looked toward the jungle and knew that if she wanted food and shelter, she would have to enter it. She took a few steps forward and suddenly noticed movement behind the trees, a massive shadow shifting slowly as if something was watching her. She froze, her breath caught, her eyes locked onto that unknown presence. She was not alone on this island, and with that realization began her new battle for survival. She slowly moved toward the jungle, and as her feet left the wet sand and touched solid ground, the environment changed completely. From the open light of the ocean into a dense green darkness where sunlight barely reached the ground and the air carried a heavy scent of soil and decay. Her body was tired, but her eyes were alert because she knew every corner of this jungle hid something watching her. The trees were so tall and thick that the sky disappeared and vines wrapped around everything, as if the jungle itself wanted to trap anyone inside. She moved forward carefully, pushing branches aside while strange sounds echoed around her, distant birds, snapping twigs, and moments of silence so deep they filled her with fear. Her throat dried and she realized she needed water. Scanning around, she heard the faint sound of flowing water and moved toward it cautiously, placing each step carefully, knowing one mistake could cost her everything. After some time, she found a small stream of clear water flowing over stones. She knelt and drank. The cold water brought new energy into her body and light returned to her eyes. After drinking, she noticed fruits lying beneath trees. She hesitated at first, but hunger did not allow her to stop. She ate them, and slowly her strength returned, but that peace did not last long because suddenly she heard a sound behind her, something heavy moving across dry leaves. Her body froze as she slowly turned and saw two glowing eyes staring at her from behind the trees. Those eyes carried the gaze of a predator, a gaze that never makes mistakes. A massive reptile slowly emerged, its long, heavy body covered in rough scales that blended perfectly with the jungle. Her heart pounded. Her legs felt stuck, but fear forced her to run. She turned and sprinted, her breath heavy, her feet moving fast. While behind her, the creature chased, crashing through trees and branches. She saw a tall rock ahead and quickly climbed it, pulling herself up. The reptile stopped below, its eyes fixed upward, its breath heavy. After a moment, it retreated into the darkness. She sat there, trembling, breathing uncontrollably. But she had survived. She looked up at the faint light through the trees and understood this island would not let her go easily. And to survive here, she would have to fight every moment. As the sunlight faded, the jungle transformed. What was mysterious in daylight became terrifying in darkness because night awakened the island's true predators. She realized she needed shelter. Climbing down, she searched until she found a large tree with exposed roots forming a small hollow. She hid inside, curling her body. Darkness surrounded her, filled with sounds of insects, distant roars, rustling leaves, and terrifying silence. Suddenly, she felt something nearby. She looked up and saw a massive shadow standing in the darkness, so large it could not be hidden even behind trees. It moved slowly, each step shaking the ground, its breath deep and heavy. She stayed still, trembling but unmoving, knowing movement meant death. After some time, it moved away. She exhaled slowly, but fear remained because she realized this island held not only small predators but something far greater. The night grew deeper, cold increasing, exhaustion attacking her. But she did not sleep because sleep meant danger. She could not see the sky, but she felt time passing, and with each moment she grew stronger. The jungle was teaching her how to survive, how to wait, how to hide in darkness. And within that night she felt her fear turning into strength. As morning light slowly returned through the trees, she realized she had survived another night. She stepped out, tired but more alert, moving forward carefully. After some distance, she stopped upon seeing scattered bones on the ground. Large bones, not from small creatures, old but not completely dry. Their size revealed something massive lived here. Her heart pounded as she realized this was proof of the island's true power. She noticed drag marks on the ground as if something regularly came here. Then she saw strange carvings on a tree, markings that did not look fully natural nor clearly human, as if they carried a message. Fear and curiosity mixed within her. She touched the carvings, deep and ancient, and suddenly heard a sound behind her. She turned but saw nothing, yet she felt watched. She stepped back slowly, her body tense. This island was not just filled with animals, it held history, mystery, and now she was trapped within it. As sunlight rose, it could not remove the darkness inside her, because she realized this island was not just a place, it was a trap. She moved forward again, but her mind kept returning to the carvings. Suddenly she saw movement ahead and dropped low, watching as a group of humans appeared. They were different, their bodies strong, marked, covered in animal skins, standing still, watching her. Her heart raced as she realized she was not alone. She slowly stood and raised her hands to show no threat. One of them approached with a spear, watching her closely. After a moment, he lowered his weapon, signaling calm. They surrounded her, touching her, studying her, curiosity in their eyes. Tears formed in her eyes as she realized she was no longer alone, but fear remained because these people could save her or trap her. They gestured for her to follow, and after hesitation, she did. Deeper into the jungle they led her, until reaching a clearing filled with shelters and fire, she realized they had made this place their world. They brought her to the fire. Others gathered, watching, not hostile but curious. An elder approached, his eyes filled with wisdom. After a moment he nodded, allowing her to stay. Relief filled her as she understood she was accepted. Days passed and she observed their life. They gathered food, fetched water, lived together. She learned their ways, their knowledge, their unity. One day they took her hunting, moving silently, attacking swiftly. She watched in awe as they worked together perfectly, realizing they did not just survive, they understood survival. At night they sang and danced around fire, eventually inviting her. She joined, slowly blending into their rhythm. Days turned into more. She learned their language, became part of them. Yet inside her remained a question. Would she stay or leave? One day she stood by the ocean, watching waves, remembering her past. The villagers stood behind her silently, understanding. An elder placed a hand on her shoulder, a gesture of respect and farewell. Her heart grew heavy. Tears fell. She turned between the ocean and the people. Time felt frozen. Then she took a step toward the ocean, choosing her path, knowing her story was not over. She looked back one last time, their eyes filled with love and silent goodbye. She raised her hand and walked forward, waves louder, horizon opening. She did not know what awaited her, but she knew she had changed. She was no longer the same person. She was now part of the island, carrying it within her forever. As she walked along the shore, the wet sand beneath her feet reminded her she was leaving. Yet what she had gained could never be left behind. The island had not only taught her to survive, but had transformed her. shown her where true strength lies. The waves crashed as she moved forward, the endless horizon ahead filled with unknown paths and new stories. Behind her, the island remained not just a memory but part of her existence. She stopped and looked back one final time. They still stood there silent, their eyes full of meaning beyond words. Tears filled her eyes, but they were not of sorrow. They were of something deeper between loss and gain. She bowed her head in respect and turned forward again, walking with stronger steps, knowing how to survive, how to face fear, how to move forward alone. The ocean opened before her, the sky vast above, as if the world itself welcomed her to begin again. She had no more doubt, because she knew life would never be easy. But she also knew she could survive anywhere, because she had already survived the hardest place. The island grew smaller behind her, but larger within her. She walked forward with new light in her eyes, a light that knows fear but refuses to stop. And in that moment, her story did not end. It began again, because the whole world was now open before her, and within her lived the strength to walk any unknown path.